Hello, I'm Jerry Pt.5. This is part 5. Part 5 of Story Time with Jerry, apartment management, when I was a painter porter. I left off on part 4 talking about the pond. That pond was, it had a fountain. We had a fountain in it. Later on, they kind of had me helping the maintenance guy a lot with the fountain, pull it in. We'd have to clean it sometimes because you get a bunch of algae and crap on the, the filter and stuff. We had to clean it. But there was one day the pond was low, and I was looking out there on the edge, and there was something sticking out of the water in the mud, and I was like, that looks like a extension ladder. So I started grabbing hold of it, and that mud, it was just stuck in there. I started pulling it out, and that thing was just covered with algae, just caked on there. But it was a single rung extension ladder, didn't have the other part to it. But I was like, well, I'm going to take it. I mean, it's a nice aluminum, ladder rung. I mean, I put it in the back of my truck and took it home. Just, 4 or 5 months ago, I still had it. Sold it on a garage sale. Actually, at the end of the garage sale, we was just kind of giving stuff away just because we wanted to get rid of it. Someone took it, but I used it a lot on my house. I had a small house. I have a small house. Yeah, there was one day I saw a fox running around by the pond, had a rabbit in his mouth, heading out probably to feed its babies. A couple of geese always nested around the pond. I was in charge of keeping it clean. I had to pick up garbage around it, so I had to keep it clean. And we had trees around there. I had to rake it a lot of times, keep it raked up and nice. And right near the pond, we had the balconies of a lot of the apartments. Which I had a problem with some of the people flicking cigarette butts off their balcony. And I had an idea one time. I was like, I can't figure out which balcony belongs to what apartment. So what I did when we did filter changes one time, the paint that we used was kind of a tan, so you could see a marker. So what I did was, all those balconies, when I changed filters, I would go out on the balcony and I would lean over and I would put the apartment number with the marker on the back of the railing. They wouldn't even know that I did it, but I could tell then, and I could see up there what the number was, and I could have them get a note sent, because my manager would send them a note, please don't throw your cigarette butts off your balconies. So that was my tactical way of figuring out whose balcony it belonged to. And the balconies were a pretty good expanse apart, so you could pretty easily, if the cigarette butts were in that area, then you could pretty much have a good idea that it was that one. I wasn't going to get them mixed up and send someone over here the notice when it wasn't, their fault. So so anyway, let's see, what else could I talk about? Near the pond, you go out a little bit and you run into where my paint shop was. My paint shop was under the apartments. So, and there's lots of woods right there near my little paint shop. It was just a door. I had to, unlock it. I had to step over the concrete foundation to get up under there. I had piles of plastic, that I would use, to plastic off apartments if I had to paint, spray, or something like that. So there was one day I was I was in there, kind of deep back in there, looking for a certain can of paint, and I heard a noise. The plastic was kind of rustling around. I was like, what is that? I couldn't get out. I mean, where the plastic was, it was blocking the entrance. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's something in here. And we had a lot of possum around there, a lot of raccoon. Um, that's about, I mean, that was about it. You know, maybe some porcupine. But the noise was getting closer and closer. So I was like, something is getting really, really close, and I can't, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to stand still. So I stood still. I closed my eyes, and something was doing this up on my leg. And I was like, I looked down, and it was a white ferret. Someone's pet had gotten out. And I was like, what in the world are you doing? And I had a trash can in there, and you know, I ain't gonna pick him up. I don't know this guy. You know, I don't know if he's, you know, tame. He seemed to be nice. I think he just wanted to be found. You know, but I put the trash can down, scurried him off into it, and took it into my paint shop, or into the maintenance shop, and I told my manager, and she just happened to have in her apartment a paint or a cat carrier. So I got the cat carrier, and I called a local pet store, and they said to bring it down and they would take care of it. So I brought it down, and they looked at it, and they looked at his claws, and his claws were long. And I was like, this little guy has been roaming around for a long time. He's very dirty, because people keep their claws, they're supposed to keep their claws cut. And this guy's claws were out there. So, and he said, this is a expensive breed too. So someone's missing him, I'm sure. So, yeah, that was a weird, experience right there. Let's see. Yeah, and I found, I had a trash can in the back of the maintenance shop outside that we threw your cans in for recycling. And one day I looked out there, and there was inside the trash can, there was about 3 or 4 baby possums in there. And there was like 3 or 4 dogs sniffing around. I guess I could smell them, you know. And I had to take those babies and put them in the carpentry shop so that them dogs didn't tear them up or something, you know, because they were desperate. They were sniffing around. Had to run them off. Lots of wildlife around there. Find baby birds all the time. That was sad. Stuff like that. Baby squirrel, I think, one time. But anyway, what do we got? 8 minutes, 30 seconds. I don't know if I have enough time. There was one apartment I went into. I always used to check the apartments. If I knew somebody moved out, I would go look at it before anybody else did, just in case there was something that I wanted. If it was over $100, you've probably heard this rule maybe throughout your life. If it was over $100, you had to wait 30 days. If nobody came to claim it, you can have it. There was a ladder, nice heavy-duty ladder that I found. It was just leaning up against the wall. There was nobody there, and they were supposedly moved out. So I took it and I put it in the paint shop, and I told my manager that I got it, and just wanted her to write down today's date. So yeah, I got that ladder still. It's heavy duty ladder. Nice big old yellow tray on it. Had a drawer, but you can put all screws, nails, whatever you want in it. All right, well, I guess I'll end it there. It's really close to being time. And next I'll try to tell you about stuff I found inside apartments besides that ladder. All right, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And we will see you all on the next one.